Okay. All right, thank you, Dom and John, for allowing me to share. And the name for the charge is Your God and Money, or Is Your God Money? So, hello everyone, my name is Paul Tulomba. I am a third year student at UCL and I'm studying archaeology. One question I have for everyone: what do you contribute to the kingdom? I remember I came into the kingdom when I was 18 years old, and I'm 22 right now. And so practically, you guys literally raised me. So you guys did not raise me to be a freeloader, to just take. But you raised me to be a servant and to be lower and give. And also, let's not be mistaken, everyone. The money in your pocket always belonged to God because He allowed you to maintain the life that you're living. And so I want to convince you that your giving is closely related to how much you are seeking God. So let's turn with me to Matthew chapter 2, verse 9 to 12. All right, when you're there, say there. Okay, love to see it, love that. Okay, it said, after they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, they returned to the country by another route. So first, we can see, or a few verses prior to that, we can see that Herod wanted Jesus killed. And so right then at that moment, the Magi could have conspired with Jesus to make it happen. So whether we like it or not, we can actually be the very reason why the presence of God is lacking in our own lives. That's one thing. Then, as we can see, there was in the east, and then they saw the star, and they kept going after the star. And so we can see, and they stopped on Jesus. So when you're seeking, you eventually find God, according to Jeremiah 29. And then it said, when they saw the star, they were overjoyed. So when you find God, you'll rejoice. Then it said that they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they worshipped God. Then it says, then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So we can see then they gave their gifts to Jesus, but they entrusted it to Mary and Joseph. Even though you give your money to the church, ultimately it goes back to God. And obviously they entrusted the gifts to Joseph and Mary because they trusted them. So if you can't give money, it's because you don't trust. And we know in 1 John, I believe, so it says love trusts. So are you trusting today? So as a whole, it all culminated in the gifts. So when we stop seeking God, we know when we're not seeking God, when we're not giving back to God. So once the financial distribution drops first, then you drop out of church. And we know the gifts themselves were no chump change, no small money. The frankincense would cost approximately £495. The myrrh would cost £3,308. And the gold would cost approximately £496. So this is costly, very expensive. So now these guys are wise men, and so they're wise, and they saw it as fit to give this gift. So how much more us who are disciples who are called to be wise? So if you don't seek God, then how can you expect to help others to seek God when you don't know anything about it? And so, since it's special missions times, I would just like to say that God has.
On heaven's road, you gotta lay down that heavy load. Jesus said he'd walk along with me. Praise God, glory.